Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. I am very excited to be here today to share with you my video for the N challenge portion of the hashtag ABC April 2025 challenge that is being hosted by Margaret, 7 Plaza, and Tony at Crafty by Tony. Links are in the description. All right, so they, with their challenge, they have come up with a list of prompts, and for N, they have notebook, nature, neutral, and narrow. And of course, as I've done so often, I've gone a bit rogue, and I'm going to do a no-sew journal. There's a journal that I've been wanting to do, and I thought today would be a great day. I've done other no-sew journals. Last year I did this retro 50s diner where you use washi tape or some sort of adhesive. I used my fabric strips that I made with the carpet tape, and you just have to tape them together. And I've actually done 2 of these, one with envelopes and then this one. But this version that I have is going to be different. So I'm quite excited to do this. And yeah, let's get started. All right, for this no-sew journal, I'm going to start with 12 by 12 papers, and I'm going to end up cutting down to 12 by 9 to make the journal. And I've actually gone through this and picked out which pages I was thinking of using for this. And I think I've done a flip through of this. It was bought at Joann's. They do have these not pull aparts. I must be hungry. These cut aparts that I could use for tags, etc. And then it's just a bunch of maps. And I thought this would be cool to do. And then I get these. I can cut these apart a bit, probably add to some journaling ephemera. I think that was the only 2. Yeah, I'm doing the teal journal. I'm sorry. Yeah, the teal journals this month, but next month I believe is yellow, and there's a lot of yellows in this, so I thought, you know, I can make that no-sew journal and have it be for the yellow one for next month, but I'm going to show it this month because N no-sew journal. So let me get the pages and show you what I've chosen. All right, I think I've picked more than I need. I was thinking I was going to do 15 and go from there. Kind of like a regular journal would have 15 pages, but I think this method of no-sew, you can kind of go whatever you want. But I think I've picked extra so I can kind of weed some of them out. But like I said, I'm going to kind of focus on the yellow. So there's yellow on that one, definite yellow on that one, topographical yellow. This one's got a little bit more blue than yellow, but can't, I think it'd be okay. I don't usually use the foil ones, but I thought this one was very cool and perfect for this kind of book, so I was going to keep this. A nice neutral page, has a yellowish hue to it. Good to have something, again, map with yellow. This is the same thing with the gold, mostly yellow. That was perfect. Another map. I might not do this one because I got several maps, but it would be kind of fun to cut the 6 inches or the 9 inches, this down to 9 inches and keep that. So I'm going to put this one to the side as a maybe. That's yellow all over. Again, more neutral. This is like pink and blue, and I might not do this one. This could really be great for some other stuff. I'm going to put that one to the side. Definitely yellow. Now this one has the gold like the other stuff, but dark blue kind of might throw it off. So I'm going to put that to the side for now. And a lot of blue. And I'll put that one to the side for now. Yellow and all blue. All right, let me see what I got here. How many I have? Because there is a bit of blue in here, so I might pull a few back if I haven't gotten to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I have only 12, so I can pull 3 of those back. So I really think I want this one, even though it is like hardly yellow, but I really think it'll be a nice contrast to some of these. And then I think I might want this one back. I don't really want that one back. Maybe I want that one back. This one could definitely be even cut apart to do as accents or decorations. So, and that would be the other choice, but I got quite a few full world maps, so I think this would be fun, and I doubt I would probably use this in anything else. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, I'm going to go with 14. I can live with that. All right, so the next step for these would be to cut them down from their 12 by 12 down to 12 by 9. And since they're going to be folded this way to make a journal, I need to cut the bottom or the top off depending on what I feel like should come off. And unfortunately, some of these maps are going to get cut off just because of how they are. And I could probably try to take a little off the top and a little off the bottom, but I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to go through and cut all these down, take the 3 inches off and cut these, and I'll be right back. All right, so they've all been cut down to their 9 inches high, 12 inches wide. So I have a bunch of pieces that are the cutoffs, that are the 3 by 12, which would be great for tags, belly bands, etc. that I'll be able to use in here. There were 2 of them that I felt would be better off if I cut 1.5 inches off the top and the bottom, just to center better. So there is 2 of these tinier strips, but I can definitely use these for something else also. So I'll put those to the side. All right, so the next step we're going to do is we need to fold these in half to make the journal size. Now, one of the ways you can do it is just eyeball it, or you can use some sort of scoreboard that's got like a lip and ledge, and be able to push it in there. I'll come back with the bone folder and tighten that down, make it crease really good. But this way you have a good chance of making sure that they are going to be pretty well even. So I'm going to go ahead and fold all these. All right, I am back. So all the pages are folded and have been bone folded to make them nice and tight. The other thing I did off camera was I did take my vintage photo and I did ink the center, and you'll see why when I start putting the pages together why I felt like I needed to do that. If you don't mind the white in the center, you don't have to do that as an inking spot. Okay, so now we're going to start putting the pages together. Now this is kind of where it gets a little, you kind of got to go with it. It's a little weird feeling in the beginning, but in the end it ends up working out. So a lot of times you would think that you want to start with a page going this way and start putting stuff in here. But for this case, and the way this book seems to work, I find it best to start putting it this way. This is going to be the front page. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the next page and we're just going to wrap it around the back page. So that'll be the front, that'll be the next page. All right, once you've got, get that out of the way. Once you've got that second page done, then we are going to start assembling the book to the back. All right, so I find it best after you do that is you can keep it down like this. What you're going to do is just start wrapping the pages opposite of what it is. So this one's got to go in here because it's got to encapsulate the back page. And this next one is going to go here to encapsulate that one. And we're just going to keep alternating back and forth to get the book together. Now I did lay these pages out, try to, where I put map and then not map, map then not map. I tried to put the blue between like 2 yellowish ones or something that wasn't blue. Like that was blue and this is a yellowish, and this got really crooked. I don't know what I was thinking on this one. Oh, it was cut crooked. Interesting. Might have to go back and fix that. I didn't notice that when I was folding it. All right, we can probably ink it eventually. All right, or it might just get hidden from the page behind it. All right, so then we're gonna wrap this one here. And I skipped this, so we're gonna go yellow, yellow, kind of bluish. And then we got a yellow and a yellow. And that one has some blue on there. It's not totally blue. All right, so there is the last page. Okay, so this would be the front of the book. Now, eventually I'm going to make a cover that's a little bit bigger than this to solidify it a little bit more. But so this is basically the signature that's going to be inside. So this will technically get covered, but then you will see it here. And you can see how you, when I glue it, there's going to be just a hint of that white page in there. So that's why I decided to ink those. All right, so this is going to go here, and this is going to go here, this is going to go here, and then here, and then here, and the last page. And this will have a cover on it. And I probably should get one extra page because then I have a white page showing. Okay, we're going to need one extra page. So I have, what, 14? So it looks like you're going to need 13. And I'm going to have to still cut this down. So I'm going to just do this real quick. Or not 13. You're going to need an odd number for this. And like I said, I never did this before, so live and learn. Okay, since this is folded, I can chop the 3 off this way. All right. All right, save that strip or something. And gonna ink in there. All right, nice and easy. All right. All right, last page. Okay, so that would be the end of the book, but it's really not the end of the book because then it is reversible and you're going to have, actually I think this is the side I showed. Yep, that was the side I showed. That is going to go there and then it's going to reverse. Maybe that's the side I showed. I don't know. But that's how it's going to be. It's going to be reversible. There'll be a cover on this side. There will be no spine attached since it needs to be reversible. But it ends up being, when it gets all glued together, a big accordion. You can kind of see. Okay, so for gluing, I'm going to use my big old Yoo-hoo stick. And I think I'm going to put the glue on this one because it's a little bit flatter. If I try to do it here, I think it's going to be a little harder to do. But I am going to, probably should put my book page underneath there. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to do my best to make sure this stays straight on the top and scooch over just a hair. Okay, that's a little better. Okay. I'll put that back in there. All right, so the first page is glued. This will need to be glued. So we are just going to glue all of the pieces together. Again, I forgot my book page. And go from there. Now you can see why I said, you know, once you kind of get used to how this flows, you might want to take it apart and just glue one at a time instead of having it together. But I don't know, it just seems a little bit more, I feel like I might get confused at how it goes if I do that. And I should have, there we are. All right, so I'm going to pull these out because they are in their order, and this is going to be okay. Now that I've kind of got it started, I feel like I have a better grasp on where this needs to go. All right, so this one is going to go in here. All right, and we're going to get the book page, finally. Take the book page. Grabbed a brand new Oohoo stick for this because I felt like, oh, this is probably gonna use up a bit of glue. There we go. We are getting there. All right. So the next page is going to go here. And like I said, it just feels a little bit weird when you first start trying to glue these together. Like, do I know which way it's going? Can I tell? But after a bit of time, I get a feel for, at least I seem to get a feel for where it needs to go. All right, we'll just check in on it, make sure it's still going well. Oops. All right, you are that way before something gets upside down. And you are going to be the next one. All right, so you're going to go in there. All right, I'm going to glue. I'm going to glue this side and then fold it into it. Okay, well, I think I got this. All right, so you're going to go there. And you are going to fold down. Now, I figured if it gets a little bit off, which I can tell this one got a little bit off, that I can probably go back and give it a little bit of a, it's not going to want to pull back. I glued it good. I could probably go back and do a little trim on the top and bottom for that. Okay, next page. You're going to go there. Well, I hope you can kind of see how this goes. And I know sometimes the only way to really kind of get a figure out what to do is to, you know, go ahead and make your own. Go. And let's glue it down. Now the other thing I thought I could do is, if I didn't like how this center part ended up coming, when all is said and done, is to put some washi tape on there in some, you know, coordinating color or something, just to seal it down and or cover the seam. So if it was white, you would have a much brighter white thing, but it is not, so it really does kind of blend in there with this. Okay, so here's the next one, and it is going to go around here. Okay, there goes that, and now it's getting a little harder to rub that down because it's getting a little thicker, but we can work around it. Okay, onward and upward to the next one. Let's glue this page. Make sure it's not getting upside down. Oh, nope, don't do that. There we go. Like, you know, it's inevitable that one of these pages is going to end up upside down. Like, that's just how it rolls, right? And when this is all said and done, like, I come back and I see that that's a little lifted off, I can put a little art glitter glue in the corners just to make sure that it is standing, or sticking, not standing, and go from there. All right, I got about 5 more pages to do, so I'm not going to bore you with the rest, but I'm just going to keep adding. And this was kind of off camera, so I want to make sure you understand what I was doing. These were the ones that were all pre-folded, so I was just taking the next one that's on the top that was in there, and then just using that to go into its spot. So that's all I was doing. All right, so I'll be back when this is all glued. All right, so I've glued the last page on. Here, oh, that's the beginning of it. Sorry, I flipped it over. I've glued the last page on to this page. So this one is open. So I'm going to glue this closed. Now, the more I thought about it, you probably wouldn't have to leave this closed or glue this to it. You could decorate this if you wanted to. But I'm going to just do that just to make it extra strong. And fold that over. And squish. Okay. All right, well, that is definitely a nice and sturdy journal. Now, I had mentioned in the beginning that I was thinking about putting a cover on here. And it would be like, you know, make it just a hair, you know, just make it a hair bigger. Even on that side, make it just a hair bigger. But I'm not sure I'm going to want to do that. Since I did glue the pages together, the front is pretty thick. And the one that I saw recently, I wish I could remember who it was because it was a few days ago. I've seen this before, but the one I saw recently, they did make a cover for it. But, of course, I didn't watch it that closely to see if they glued that top page to it. But I might not just make a cover for it. But I said that is pretty strong. So, it lays pretty flat. I'm going to put it under a book for a little bit of time. Thought that was a ripped paper, but it's just part of Greenland. and it lays pretty flat. I haven't decided if I want to put some washi tape on that. It might be part of the decorations, but lots of places to add some decoration to. And then this is the back page, and like I said, it's pretty thick because it's been glued onto itself. And then this becomes reversible. And that one that I said was crooked, I actually cut it short. I don't know what happened here, but it's like a whole 1/4 inch short. And I have to add some washi tape to this top part, or at least it's a pretty generic looking page. And this vintage photo has kind of the same color tones as this page does, so I might be able to get away with not worrying about it. But that's what happened. It was so weird. What's weird, is that the one that I cut the top? No, it's not the one that I cut the top and the bottom. What's weird is my stack of papers. Where are you? There you are. My stack of papers, there would have been one high, and oh, there sure is. That one's high. Didn't notice it. Okay. Yep, I cut that one wrong. But I think it's not bad. If it was like short on the blue one, I think it would have looked much worse. But I think we're okay. Yeah, not too bad. And there it is. So you just keep flipping. A never-ending journal. And or no-sew journal. I love it. I can't wait to decorate some of this. So, all right. Well, I think I'm going to call this video done for now. It's not perfect. It's not totally even, but it's pretty darn close, I think, for a first try. Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, if you want to, like I said, this is probably going to be part of my yellow series, because I always have my fabric covered journal and a subsequent second journal type. So I'm going to include this with the yellow, which I think is the next section that we're doing from teal. So if you want to end up seeing how this goes, decorated, added stuff, don't forget to hit the subscribe, and so you'll see when these pop up. And if you like the video, maybe want to try something out yourself, please click that thumbs up. I would appreciate it. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.